Hello, governors. Welcome to the 2025 Grand Prix Upper Bracket Round 1. I'm your host, Plato Gaming caster and content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, and today we will continue the cast of this fantastic Grand Prix event. The Grand Prix is a yearly event that combines the best Osiris League teams from both the international server and the Chinese server, pitting them against each other to fight for the crown of Grand Prix champion. The game that we are casting today is on paper one of the most exciting matchups this week. GY16 representing the Chinese server versus 60GT representing the international server. GY16 is the reigning Grand Prix champion and were dominant in last year's Grand Prix. They have made it to this year's Grand Prix by winning their Osiris League realm in the Chinese server. With how crisp and clean their gameplay has been, they will be a tough test for whomever they verse against and are one of the tournament favorites. Another tournament favorite? 60GT. 60GT has had the track record of being one of the best Osiris League teams the international server has to offer. From their 6 realm championships to their finest appearance in the 2023 Grand Prix, 60GT have always been seen at the pinnacle of greatness, except for the past 2 tournaments. In 2024 Grand Prix, 60GT lost their first 2 games, being one of the first teams eliminated from the event. In last season's Osiris League, 60GT were upset in the round of 16. But with a new look roster combining with their sister team, 60MX, 60GT are looking to make it back to the top of their game with this Grand Prix tournament. Will GY16, the reigning Grand Prix champions, continue their dominance of the international server from last season, or will 60GT be able to redeem both the international server as well as themselves by showing that they're still one of the top teams in the game? Man, chat, this is going to be a crazy matchup. We have GY16, as I said, the reigning Grand Prix champions of 2024 versus 60GT, kind of the sweethearts of the international server, a lot of big 60GT fans. And it is really, really interesting to see these two teams clash so early on. This is upper bracket round 1. So this tournament is a double elimination. So you could lose one game and still make it to the lower bracket, but then if you lose that second game, you're out. So both these teams, even if they lose against each other, will still be in the tournament. But man, if you win this game for either of these teams, you are pretty much fast-tracked to make it really deep into the tournament. So let's give a little bit of details for GY16. GY16, they have been champions of their realm 4 times. 60GT has been champions of their realms 5 times. So this is Osiris League championships. And if you include the championship from MX last season, the Kingdom of 1960 as a whole has 6 Osiris League championships. As we were talking about, GY16, they actually won the 2022 Grand Prix, which was before it was both an international Chinese server thing. So they were able to win the Chinese server version of the Grand Prix. And then, of course, in 2024 last season, they were also able to win the Grand Prix as well. So they're a 2-time Grand Prix champion versus 60GT, who's a Grand Prix runner-up in 2023 when they lost against 489. So 60GT are still chasing for that Grand Prix championship, that Grand Prix title. Meanwhile, GY16, they have been one of the tournament favorites every single tournament that they've been part of. I think one of the things that we'll be looking forward to in this game is that 60GT, in their last game, they were really arc focused. They're able to get 3 arcs against their opponents. Meanwhile, GY16 were actually, they scored the highest amount of occupation points out of all the teams in round 1. So GY16 last game were fully occupational. 60GT, they kind of dominated the arc, they dominated the middle, and they also were really, really good at provisioning. 60GT, the second highest provisioning team in all of round 1. So we'll have to keep in mind and see if they will continue their patterns of that first week, or if they're going to be, playing around and trying a different strategy to see if they could put GY16 or 60GT off of their games. It'll be really, really interesting because 60GT, as I was saying, they actually made it further than they did last Grand Prix. Yes, 2024 was a big disappointment for 60GT because they lost their first 2 games in the Grand Prix. And it was actually really, really interesting because the lower bracket round 1 last season was actually the championship finals of 2023, which was 60GT 489. 489 did take out 60GT and that was the end of the tournament. But 60GT have made it to the upper bracket this time. They are versing the tournament favorites, and let's see and get into game to see how they do. We could see that we have GY16 in this top left corner. GY16, one of the strongest teams probably in Osiris League history. There's only one two-time Grand Prix champion, and that is GY16. You can see that they're teleporting very meticulously, one player at a time, making sure that all of them are teleported in the right location. You can see a lot of them using the boat here. So the boat city theme looking to be the city theme of choice for them. Meanwhile, we have 60GT. Familiar names like Papa Boba, Heat, Sea Will, staples of 60GT. Here yet again to try to, give a little bit of hope to the international server. If you guys don't remember, last season, the international server got absolutely dominated by the Chinese server. 60GT last week were able to beat a Chinese server team. Now with the back-to-back Chinese server teams. Again, for those that are new to the Grand Prix, everyone is using the developer account, so they have the same amount of troops, all commanders maxed, same equipment, same armaments. So it's not going to be an account difference, but rather how they use their accounts, where they place their troops, what they prioritize. And that is why the Grand Prix is so interesting. There's a poll in chat. Be sure to vote in the poll 60GT if you think 60GT will win and gain their redemption, or GY16 if you think GY16 will win and continue their dominance. Again, we're going to be looking out for these openings because we've seen some pretty crazy openings from the Chinese server teams in past iterations of the Grand Prix. We've seen a sneaky tactics into an obelisk rush. We've seen some Sun Sailor shenanigans in the international server. So we will have to see which team decides to play standard, if both these teams decide to play standard, or if there's going to be a crazy opening. 20 minutes to go, or 20 seconds to go rather. The gates will fall, the double C's will run. Both sides deciding to use a boat here. 60GT coming from the Supreme Strife win, hoping to carry on that momentum to the Grand Prix, as the gates have dropped. Instant double C's running to get these outposts and to get these obelisks as soon as possible. Let's see if we could see any of the sentry placements here. Initial sentries both mirrored here. You can see that GY16, this is the typical Chinese server sentry, where they could see fully how many troops are going to this top side lane, how many troops are going to the bot side lane, and kind of manipulate their marches through that. Although I will say they might miss some of the marches from 60GT coming to this bottom side, so this is more so leaning towards the top. 60GT though, you can see their sentry here right in the front of the gate so that they could see exactly how many troops are going to the bottom, how many troops are going to the top. Rallies looking rather standard, just the standard obelisk rallies, all 4 obelisks getting rallied by both teams. Outposts and obelisks 4 seconds ahead for GY16 on that first obelisk. Shouldn't mean too much. 60GT perhaps 2 seconds ahead of GY16 for the farther obelisk. And all in all, everything is looking rather standard. Everything's looking rather crisp. But the only thing is GY16 did not get the outpost of Iset yet, which shouldn't matter long term, but with how close these two teams have been in this opening so far, that's the only thing that I could see is the difference between the two. Now the question is, where will they allocate their marches? Will this be the standard Desert Altar attack and defense, or will there be some the Sky Altar shenanigans, perhaps the Shrine of Life shenanigans? Right now, it is looking rather linear. You can see 60 GT just making sure, wanting to know how many marches there are of GY16 going towards the Desert Altar. They want to know the exact numbers, how many they need to allocate to the Desert Altar, how many they need to allocate towards the Shrine of Life. GY16, they're going at it blind outside of that one entry sentry that they put down. They also have a double C here. The human sentry. Oh, they did put down a sentry a bit above the Desert Altar of 60 GT. So they'll see the murder ball. They see Papa Boba's marches. They see the rally coming in. Will the rally connect for 60 GT? It is a double C rally, so you'd assume that that is just for march speed. Perhaps the rally will connect on the obelisk and then tap it, see if there's anything in there, and if there is, they'll disperse and try to block some teleport space for GY16. GY16 rally also coming. This time it is a Joan of Arc rally for GY16. You could see 60 GT. They did have a garrison in there just in case the obelisk would have been captured. And look at this. Wow. Okay, GY16 saying, okay, you're not going to attack our Desert Altar. We're going to move over to the Sky Altar. They also have full vision of 60 GT and their rotation. There's a murder ball in between here for 60 GT. They're not fully sending to the Sky Altar defense as of yet. And this is an initial skirmish on this top side of the map, right outside of the Sky Altar. And this, if you've been watching Ark of Osiris, Osiris League, is very peculiar. You don't really see an open field fight here as the first open field fight. You usually see it around the Desert Altar area. First sad face we've been seeing is 60 GT. Four sad faces of 60 GT, one sad face of GY16. There's a GY16 march in here. A Belisarius just trying to snipe the structure. They're also diving the structure with a couple marches here. They're diving the garrison lead. 5, 4. Who will get in the structure first? Will it be GY16 or will it be 60 GT? It is 60 GT able to get into their home Sky Altar with a garrison. A huge play from 60 GT. That could have been disastrous from them if they weren't able to secure their Sky Altar. Now, they did sacrifice the Shrine of War. 60 GT also attacking the Desert Altar. Let's check out the rest of the map. Desert Altar of 60 GT has been captured by them. Shrine of Life also captured by 60 GT. Shrine of War, surprisingly, also in 60 GT's hands, but it is only a double C. So that will be shortly recaptured by GY16. Sky Altar attack by 60 GT has been thwarted as well. So overall, the main course of action here is that GY16 Sky Altar attack, but in all honesty, everything looks rather standard. Everything looks rather... Ooh, wait, this Desert Altar is really low. 60 GT. Will they be able to delay the Desert Altar capture of GY16? GY16, though, expertly putting in their marches, expertly march swapping to make sure that the low marches that are garrisoned inside the structure are swapped in with a healthy march that is walking into the structure. Because in Ark of Osiris and Osiris League, you could only fill a structure with one march at a time. It's not like KVK where you could fill with all 5. There is a backup garrison as well. And though it was a close take by 60 GT on this Desert Altar, it looks like GY16 will be able to retake this Desert Altar. Or hold this Desert Altar, rather. GY16's main victory right now is the fact that they've been able to delay the Shrine of War capture for quite some time. They are threatening the first occupation points with 400 points. That's 400 points given to them, 400 points taken away by 60 GT for an overall 800 point delta. But this is a structure closest to middle. So those that are walking to middle could just take a pit stop at the Shrine of War, recapture it. So it's not going to be too big of a deal. They do have a garrison in here, though. It is a Heraclius with YSS versus an Attila with Subutai rally. But with no reinforcements in sight, this should go 60 GT's favor. Although, the galloping cavalry of GY16 coming in really, really fast. Will they be able to fill this structure? Oh my goodness. It is so close, but the answer is no. 60 GT able to recapture, or capture rather, the Shrine of War. But there is a lot of GY16 marches. They can continue to flip the Shrine of War so that the first occupation points continue to be at play. First occupation points, again, it takes a lot longer for the structure. It takes an extra minute for you to capture a structure with first occupation points. You can see instead of the standard 2 minutes, it's actually 3 minutes for 60 GT to capture the structure. So with that in mind, GY16, they could try to keep flipping this Shrine of War if they really, really want to deny that first occupation points, and also deny the continuous occupation that Shrine of War does provide. You can see now all the rest of the structures outside of the GY16 Shrine of War, which will start generating points shortly, are generating points. And look how even the game is. It's 3.1 to 3.1. The difference realistically being 70 points. But that won't be the difference for long. As you can see, there is 3 minutes 30 seconds until the Ark spawns, and I think this is where the game will blow wide open. Both teams looking to contest. Again, according to the scouting report, GY16 had the highest occupation score in that first week, last week, versus 60 GT, who tied for the most amount of Arks captured last week. We'll have to see if that'll play out here, if 60 GT will be able to continue with their mid prowess, or if GY16 will say, hey, we are multifaceted. We could also beat you middle as well as structures. But if you're 60 GT and GY16, you're pretty content with the opening here. Looks like there is a murder ball gathering in the right side, bottom right side of the structure here. GY16's sniffing that something's amiss. They see the murder ball here. They have vision of the murder ball. Now, why would 60 GT do this? 60 GT would do this if they want to fake that they're going mid, but then they could pop no mark, go to the desert altar, flip the desert altar, and trade structures for the first Ark. But GY16 know this. They have full vision of it. They have the Scout Belisarius Primes. So what does 60 GT decide to do now? GY16, they have all of the knowledge. They have everything they need. They have the positioning. 60 GT, it does not look like it's a full commit to middle. It looks like there are marches going to the Shrine of War. There are marches. There's one player going to the Sky Altar. So a full commit from GY16 in this middle area versus 60 GT, which is trying to find the weakness in GY16's armor here. And they're finding the weakness is the desert altar, although GY16, with their knowledge, have people here to protect. This will not be a free take. They have a sentry as well, so they do see everything that they will see, rather, everything that 60 GT is doing. They see that there's no murder ball. They lost the murder ball, so they have a march here just to see and to cover this sliver of space that they have no vision in. And that march actually saved them a ton of time. You can see a lot of marches now rotating from middle to their desert altar. So the sneak attack from 60 GT on the desert altar will be countered by GY16. But does GY16 have enough to defend this Desert Altar? And will it be worth it for 60GT? There you go. 60GT now using no mark. No mark, for those that don't know, generates extra points. It makes it easier to capture structures. It makes it easier to defend structures. And when you capture a structure, it reduces the time in half. So instead of 2 minutes, it'll take 1 minute to capture the structure and start generating points. This is a big assault from 60GT. The rally's coming in from the right side as well. 60GT are going all in for this Desert Altar. And they will want to hold this for as long as possible, trading this for the Ark of Osiris that has spawned. Ark of Osiris has spawned. It is in GY16's hands. 60MX, by the way, Season 9 Ark of Osiris champions. So there is a force from 60GT stalling the Ark as much as possible. Stalling the marches here, so that the marches will take longer to go to their Desert Altar. So the Desert Altar has flipped. 1 minute until it starts generating points. Points per minute right now, 180 to 767, because 60GT in this bottom side, which we have not been looking at, has also captured the Sky Altar. Wow! This is completely flipped from what the notes said. GY16 being the occupation team, 60GT being the Ark team, the middle team. But it is 180 points per minute to 806 points per minute for 60GT. This bottom side of 60GT is doing wonders. They also captured the obelisk as well. Now GY16, they fully committed for this Ark, and 60GT, they saw that. They're like, okay, we're just going to go for the buildings. We are just going to go for the buildings. Now the Ark is worth 3k points. So for this to be worth it, 60GT will have to develop 3k points worth of a lead. But with 1.3k points per minute, they only have to hold their structures for what, 1-2 minutes, and then it'll be worth it. The map is painted red. It's only the obelisk and the outpost for GY16. This opening has been a masterclass so far of 60GT, but how will GY16 respond? GY16, their first objective is to take back this Desert Altar. They need to take back this Desert Altar. They're also taking back the Shrine of War. 60GTs are, alright, you can take the Shrine of War, that's fine. 60GT, they see the rally, they're going to be diving the rally. They are diving the rally. The rally is getting swarmed down. It is an Attila Subutai. And this is really smart because the rally does the most damage to the structure. So it will at least delay the structure take for a little bit. GY16 will now have to swarm down the structure, which they still can do, but it will take a lot longer than a rally plus swarm. GY16 trying to hold off this murder ball, but GY16, they do have the numbers, they do have the refresh advantage. Now 60GT, they will need some double C's to start sprinting towards this Desert Altar if they want to hold it for a bit longer. 195 points per minute for 60GT. But GY16 completely swarming down this Desert Altar. Are there any reinforcements coming in from 60GT? The answer is no. They are going to focus on the Sky Altar instead, saying, okay, we got what we needed from the Desert Altar. We have the 3k lead. So even if you capture the Ark, we are still ahead. And we're still generating more points per minute at 20 points per minute compared to 1.1. This is the most lopsided points per minute gain I think I've seen in Grand Prix history. GY16 also popping no mark, knowing that they need to get points from occupation as well. Knowing that 60GT already used the 6 points for no mark, so they might as well. Knowing that they have full control of when the Ark will be captured. Sky Altar also getting swarmed down by GY16. GY16 stabilizing the structures. We will have to see how 60GT respond here. GY16 are not out of the game yet. 910 points per minute though. The longer that the Sky Altar is captured by 60GT, the more and more this point lead will grow. So let's take a step back here, chat. 60GT had a great opening. They sacrificed the Ark 3k points so that they can get a building lead. I believe their no mark has expired. GY16 have all of their structures back. They also have no mark ticking. So 60GT, they need to get back their Desert Altar for sure, because there is no mark ticking for GY16. GY16, they have 3k in the bank. They're down by about 1k-ish points. And they have no mark. So this is still a very, very close game. In fact, you could see GY16 being in the lead. Because no mark is ticking. They will have that for quite some time. So even if the structures are even, they'll still be generating more points per minute than 60GT. But the structures are not even. In fact, it's in GY16's favor with this Desert Altar capture. 60GT, they are going to be approaching this Desert Altar with the rally. The rally is Attila Subutai. That has been the rally of choice for both sides here. They need to be successful with this take. If not, GY16 are very comfortable with where they're at. The rally is getting swarmed down by GY16. 60GT though, they just have too much open field presence around it. They have too many marches that could fill that rally as well. As GY16 trying to hold on to this Desert Altar, they have some reinforcements coming in 20 seconds away. Can they hold for 20 seconds? 18 seconds away. This is a lot of troops that they could reinforce with. 60GT need to swarm this down ASAP. The reinforcements are coming in. 7 seconds. 60GT able to take the structure. Wow, that was really close. 60GT able to stabilize the structures. Points per minute though are still in GY16's favor. 689 points per minute to 440 points per minute. The Sky Altar will take a while for it to generate some points for 60GT. GY16 down by 4k, but with the Ark, they are down by a true score of 1k. Sky Altar getting attacked by GY16. It looks like it's going down. This is going to be a big take from GY16. Wow. A big take from GY16. 60GT had some marches around it, but they just couldn't reinforce in time. That is a huge flip from GY16. With how points per minute are going, GY16 will even up the game in about 2 minutes here. And it has come down to their successful attacks on the Sky Altar and Desert Altar with the no mark that they popped. So 60GT, they have a point lead. But GY16, they have control of the Ark. They could control when it's captured. They have the points per minute lead. And it looks like, from what we've been seeing in the straight up 1v1s, GY16 has been very successful in taking 60GT structures. Shrine of War attack. GY16 has been thwarted. Desert Altar attack by 60GT. Do they have enough for this? Do they have a rally for this? The marches that are at the Shrine of War, look at this. They see the marches are low. They're letting it sad face on the structure. Now rotating over to the Desert Altar. They're letting a sad face on the structure so that it'll take longer for them to refresh. The rally is coming in. I got 40 seconds on the rally. Does GY16 have reinforcements? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You would want the rally to be here maybe 20 seconds earlier if you're 60 GT. Because now you've given time for GY16 to murder ball back up. Meanwhile, this Sky Altar is still in GY16's control. And you can see that the score is way closer now. No mark has expired for GY16. So as long as the structures are even, the points per minute will be even as well. But the point delta right now with the Ark in GY16's hands is only 200 points. After that crazy opening from 60 GT, GY16 was able to take back some structures from 60 GT, take 2 altars of 60 GT, allowing them to come back into this game. Rallies in on this Desert Altar. It is an Attila Subutai yet again against a Heraclius with YSS. Leadership Garrison being preferred because you could fill with any troop type and it'll be fine. GY16 though are swarming down this rally. Does 60 GT have reinforcements for it? Rally's still looking relatively healthy. It looks like the call from 60 GT was to swarm down the structure, but everyone's sad face on the structure. GY16 able to defend the Desert Altar, and that was because they were able to murder ball up. The rally was cancelled. Interesting. Cancelled rally. You don't see that too often in Ark of Osiris. Usually you want to run it down to sad face, but perhaps canceling it so that the individual marches could swarm it down. If the individual marches swarm it down, you sad face faster. GY16 though, attacking the Shrine of War. This is really interesting from GY16 because usually you wrap around and go to the Sky Altar. But GY16 has been keeping 60 GT on their toes with the Shrine of War attacks, the Sky Altar attacks. You can really never know which structure they're going to. The other structure blinking on the map is this Sky Altar of GY16. It's just a couple marches plus a rally. Ooh, but this Desert Altar attack from GY16. Attila with Subutai. It is getting swarmed down though by 60 GT. They have a lot of reinforcements in the back here. You can see the double C's just waiting to reinforce. They have a backup garrison as well, Cortex. So 60 GT, they have the recipe of success to hold this. Now, will they be able to execute? Put in the double C's, put in the backup garrison, swap the garrisons. Because this is a big attack from GY16. It's a rally plus swarm. This is getting melted right now. The double C is sprinting for this Desert Altar. 60 GT, no, they need to make sure that they hold this. Because technically GY16 is in the lead in terms of points. They have 3k with an Ark in the bank. That 60 GT is only up by 2.9k points. 60 GT holding the Desert Altar, which is a great hold for them. It may have been a painful hold, but it was a great hold. Let's check in terms of total kills. It actually looks like 60 GT is in the lead in terms of total kills. This Desert Altar, though, getting pretty low. The garrison's down. It's an Arthur garrison. Oh, no. Arthur garrison. But they're still filling it up. It is now a Huakibing. It is now a Joan of Arc. Filling it with anything they got. Oh, another Huakibing. They are trying to swarm down the rally. They do not have a backup garrison in here. Their backup garrison is coming in 10 seconds until the backup garrison gets there. Will GY16 find success and take this Huaqiabing garrison down? The rally's down. It is so low. Garrison, 3, 2, 1. Garrison's in. Wow. Wow. 60 GT able to hold a Huaqiabing garrison for 20 seconds there. And that would have been a disastrous flip for them. Hasta coming in clutch. GY16, though very close, 60 GT were able to hold that desert altar, and that is going to be huge. These are the plays that matter the most. By the way, Ark has been captured, so there will be an Ark play in about 8 minutes here. GY16 saying, okay, we're comfortable with where the game is at, and look at that. It's an even state. It is dead even, chat. 50 points separating GY16 and 60 GT. And that is how close these games have been. Stocking up used by GY16. Wow, okay. So what does that mean? Stocking up is a skill where when you provision and you bring back the provisions, it gives you energy points. It gives you points to use extra skills. So why would you use stocking up? In a middle fight, you could technically have a full bar, use 10 points of skills, bring in some provisioners, get an extra 2, 3, 4 points, and then from there pop another skill. So usually it's like 12 points worth of skills. So it might be Heaven's Grace plus another skill plus another skill, so that it will give you the edge in a middle fight. 60 GT, they know that stocking up has been used. They know what happens when stocking up is used. They know what GY16 is trying to do. Do they try to go for buildings again to you know, counteract the stocking up usage? Or do they try to fight into the stocking up? What is the counterplay for them? $60 GT are ahead because the Shrine of War was flipped from them, and that is how close this game is a structure flip, you're ahead. A structure flips, you're behind. So the path to victory for GY16 is going to be this mid fight here. They could have a mid fight. The Ark is going to be worth 3.5k. I feel like a lot of... They kind of have the momentum in terms of... They could decide if they want to go middle. They could decide if they want to go structures with this point play. Where 60 GT, they kind of have to play reactive here. Because in a straight up mid fight against GY16, who has more points than you, it's expected that you would lose that mid fight. GY16 able to hold the desert altar. Looks like there is a rally also coming out to the Shrine of War. And also a lot of marches coming in to the Sky Altar. I really like the Sky Altar attack from GY16 here. There's 5 minutes left until the Ark spawns. And now you're kind of giving 60 GT an ultimatum. You have to defend the Sky Altar, and if you're successful, these marches out here will be low. So then they'll have the tempo disadvantage for middle. Versus these marches, if they are sad faced, could go straight back to base, back to middle, full health. And if you're successful, you take the Sky Altar. So it's a win-win situation for GY16. 60 GT, it's going to be tough for them. This is a lot of troops. This is pretty much the whole top side of the map for GY16. No rotation middle from GY16 either. They're going buildings right now. Perhaps with the use of their stocking up, it could be inferred that they would go middle. So they expected 60 GT to rotate middle early. So they're trying to get some extra structures out of the stocking up. It's mind games right now. But 60 GT, they knew they have this. They have the reinforcements in the back. Sad faces coming out from both sides. But GY16 here, I feel like they have the numbers advantage. They also have a rally. It is actually, wow, it's an archer rally. So this is going to be melting the structure, it should, but it's going to be very swarmable. 60GT deciding to swarm down the rally. Do they have enough though? Does GY16 have the reinforcements? The answer is no, GY16 do not have the reinforcements. The rally is down, so this should be a structure hold. But as I was talking about, this will be a win for GY16 in terms of tempo for middle, because now you can see all these marches now have to walk back home. It is going to be a 30-second walk back home and then a minute walk back to mid. Versus these marches that are going to be home in about 30 seconds rather. And GY16, you can see they are pouring into this middle. A late rotation compared to the first Ark fight, but it looks like it's going to be an Ark fight nonetheless. Sky Altar held, but now tempo going to GY16. Structures dead even. Points pretty much dead even. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provisioners of 60 GT. And no provisioners from GY16. So perhaps stocking up used in this case to just generate back their points, because they did use 6 points on top of Heaven's Grace for that mid fight. And then no mark. They used no mark for the point generation. So perhaps using stocking up just to make sure that they could have enough points for this middle fight. In terms of provisions, it's also really close. 1.1k provisions to GY16, 1k provisions to 60 GT. I think it's really impressive how both of these teams have pretty much been really even throughout this match. Yeah, you could see that 60 GT, the only skill they used was, they used 8 points in that last rotation versus 10 points. So GY16 probably using stocking up to catch up in terms of points. They also don't have energetic versus 60 GT, who is using energetic. And that is why the Chinese server versus international server matchups are always so interesting to watch. Because you don't really see stocking up that often in the international server. It's a clash of styles, a clash of skills. GY16 though, they see that they have the numbers advantage. 60 GT, it looks like they're going to go for the Desert Altar here. GY16, they have the numbers advantage, so they're going to push in. Just make sure that they have this Ark. This is deja vu of the first Ark. GT using Dust Up so that it really lowers the vision of GY16. You can see this March could barely see. What an interesting use of Dust Up, because it can be used middle, it can be used to fight, but it also could be a skill used to inhibit the vision of your opponents. This Desert Altar, yet again, focused by 60 GT. The only thing is the Ark is going to be worth 500 points more, and we know what the counter is for this, for GY16. The counter of this is to pop no mark themselves and just have an extra 3.5k points. So the no mark generating points on your home structures will not matter. It's going to be how much points you could generate from your opponent's structures. GY16 Desert Altar getting swarmed down. The Sky Altar has already been taken, but the Desert Altar is going to be the point of emphasis for GY16. The point of emphasis right here for GY16 is this Desert Altar, mirrored by 60 GT. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind, 60 GT, they popped the no mark. GY16 has not. They did use Heaven's Grace. An interesting usage of Heaven's Grace here. Wanting to win the murder ball fights with the healing. Wow, usually you see these skills use middle, but because there's no middle fight, they're using it to recapture their structures and capture 60 GT structures. And it looks like it's effective. Look at the sad faces coming up from 60 GT. The murder ball of 60 GT has been dismantled. And here's Time Warp as well as No Mark from GY16. So GY16 using Time Warp and No Mark, same and mirrored by 60 GT. But 60 GT, they need to make sure that they have the advantage because GY16, they have the 3.5k in arc points here. If it's mirrored skills plus 3.5k going to GY16, GY16 and on paper should have the lead. But right now, 60 GT, they have all the structures on the map. The points per minute are going crazy. 1.4k to 39 points per minute. 60 GT, they need to make sure this keeps going. They need to make sure they keep these structures. That they generate enough of a lead that it will cushion the 3.5k points given from the arc carrier here. 60 GT, they are now up by 2.5k points. But that is not enough. They need an extra K. They need an extra 2. The rally is here. There is no 60 GT reinforcements to be seen. Cortex trying to dive into the structure. Will he be successful? The answer is yes. Able to get into that structure. Zhao as well. Trying to get into this Desert Altar. Trying to delay the capture even by a millisecond. But the capture will come through. GY16 able to take back their Desert Altar. 60 GT though, I think a big victory was them holding their own Desert Altar off screen. Also, Sky Altar is still in 60 GT's control. You can see now the score is up to 3.5k points per minute, 1k to 100 points per minute. 10x the points per minute for 60 GT. This has been a game of chess. 4D chess from both teams. Sacrificing metal twice for 60 GT to make sure that they get the occupation game. Using No Mark twice. So what's the play for GY16? They are down by 4k points. They have control of the Ark. But with control of the Ark, what they can do is they could score the Ark early and guarantee a third Ark. If there's a third Ark, there's not going to be a No Mark play from 60 GT. They already used Time Warp. They already used No Mark. So 60 GT, if they go buildings, they will be severely behind. Oh my goodness, chat. Do you think there's going to be a third Ark? What do you think, chat? Will there be a third Ark in this game? Top side of the map, it looks like there's a Sky Altar attack. Rally coming in. Attila Subutai yet again. Chinese server versus international server. It was not this close last season. International server definitely taking strides to redeem themselves. Because outside of 93T, the international server was pretty much out within the first 3 rounds. 60 GT already making it farther than they have last season. Now putting GY16 to the brink here. Sky Altar will be recaptured by GY16. Both No Marks should be out. No, there's still a No Mark from GY16. Okay, so GY16 might generate a couple points here. Bottom side of the map looks pretty stable. Top side of the map, Desert Altar is getting attacked by 60 GT, being defended by GY16. And now you can see the point differential. This is going to be the true point differential. Once no mark has settled down, which should be shortly, the point differential right now is about 4 points. Mental math chat. 4.7. 4.7. There's 3.5 K points in the bank for GY16. So the true score would be 1.2 towards 60 GT. How does GY16 get back into this game? Well, they're doing a great job right now holding the Desert Altar. That's step one, holding your own structures, making sure that you don't continue to get chipped away at this occupation game, which 60 GT has been playing masterfully. Point number 2, provision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 provisioners for GY16. But 60 GT know that provisioning is going to be one of the ways they could come back into the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provisioners perhaps? 10 provisioners from 60 GT? Although some of them are AFK. I think the last thing GY16 can do is capture the Ark, force a third Ark, and force GT to fight them in middle for the game. Now, the thing about provisions, though, is that GY16, we saw that they put in all of their provisioners for stocking up. The provisioners of GY16, they don't have as much in the bank as 60 GT, who's been provisioning all game. We saw in the scouting report that 60 GT had the second most provisions out of all the teams in the first week of the Grand Prix. So we could expect to see an explosion of points from provisions for 60 GT. Man, this game's so hype, I'm struggling. 60 GT and GY16 is a tongue twister after you say it 100 times in an hour. But Sky Altar is getting rallied yet again by Attila Subotai from GY16. But there are enough 60 GT marches. We got 13 minutes left. 13 minutes of this crazy action. And the deeper and deeper we get into this game, the more and more I wonder why GY16 is not capturing the Ark. Okay, here we go. I caster cursed it. There will be a third Ark, chat. There will be a third Ark. Now, what will this third Ark entail? Both sides still have skills that have not been used. What could that be? Is that a master strategist? Is that a sneaky tactics? Is it to the death? We do not know yet. But whomever wins this, kudos to them. This has been probably one of the most closest matches I've casted in quite some time. The twists, the turns, going structures versus going provisions, going middle. Both GY16 and 60 GT have played their hearts out, but only one can win. Stocking up used by GY16. Stocking up used by GY16. Now, what does that mean? That means they're going to be provisioning, and they're going to bring back all of their provisioners so that they could have the 10 points for middle. That could also mean they might have a point advantage compared to 60 GT. 60 GT, what did they use? They use 8 points. These 8 points, 6 points for Time Warp, 6 points for Dust Up. GY16, they use 10 points. They use 4 points for Heaven's Grace, 6 points for Time Warp, making 10. So 60 GT right now should have a point advantage. GY16 using stock up to make up for that, and perhaps surpass them in terms of points. Any blinking structures? It looks like the only blinking structure is the Desert Altar, but it looks like it's just a rally that is getting swarmed down. There is a huge amount of marches coming up from GY16 going to the Sky Altar though. How about in the rest of the map? Sky Altar looks like it's going to be defended. The Desert Altar of 60 GT has been flipped once or twice, but for the most part, been in 60 GT control. $60 GT swarming down the rally. GY16 trying to get to the rally. And you can see just the marches ready to reinforce whenever it's low. And this is really important from 60 GT. It's not only about filling the rally when it's about to die, but it's also filling the garrison when it's about to die, but filling it to make sure it's full so that the trades are as positive as possible. Making sure it's always topped off. GY16, they have the swarmers, but the rally's going to go down. Is the rally going to go down? Wait a minute. The swarmers are doing some damage to this desert altar. It is getting pretty low. There are a lot of cavalry marches around, though. There are a lot of cavalry marches diving into this, but we've seen this desert altar be garrisoned by a Huakibing. Do they have a backup garrison for this? They do. He has a backup garrison. Jokla has a backup garrison. What a big hold from 60 GT. You cannot give away points here. Did 60 GT bring back the provisioners? Oh my god, I think they did. Look at the point lead. They're up by 5k, so even if GY16 get an arc, it's worth 4k. It's not going to be enough. 60 GT brought back all of their provisioners. There's no provisioners on the map. They're going to go all in for this final arc. GY16, they still have provisioners on the map. Wow, this is a gamble by 60 GT, saying that we believe in our mid fights. We believe that we can fight GY16 straight up. Because GY16, they probably have 1k worth of provisions in all of these provisions. So there is a chance that GY16 still win the game, even with this 5k point advantage, if they get this last arc. We'll see the answer in 3.5 minutes. Everybody is starting to rotate. The provisioners now starting to go home. Does 60 GT have it in them to beat the reigning Grand Prix champions in their own game in the mid-fight? This is going to be the first straight-up mid-fight we've seen from these two teams. And there's no better way you could end this game with a good old classic run it down mid. Who do you think is going to win this mid fight? Who do you think is going to win this game? Type 60 GT and chant for and cheer for 60 GT if you think it's going to be them. Or type GY16 and cheer for GY16 if you think the reigning champions are going to steal this from 60 GT. You can see the provisions. They came in. They got 2 provisioners still left. They got 4. They have a couple of provisioners still out there, actually. Now, will this mean something? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marches that are not in middle. Will that be consequential? What skills do we expect to see? To the death, I actually don't really like for an all-in mid-fight because it only affects 30 marches. It's 6 points to affect 30 marches. I like the Heaven's Grace that I see on the bar of GY16. 60 GT has been known to use Desert Storm. They have Dust Up. Oh, man. What's going to be the play here? Let's check the vision. 60 GT, they have full vision of GY16 because of the sacrifices of that one march of Maimer. GY16, they're doing the exact same thing. They're like, you gave us one march, we're going to give you one march. A respectable trade by both sides. And you know it's a mid-fight when light mode was activated and I didn't even activate it. GY16 from the Chinese server. Desert Storm on their murder ball. This will chunk them quite a bit. 3 points used though by 60 GT. What's next? GY16, they do have the positioning advantage. 60 GT going into the murder ball. Heaven's Grace used by GY16. Responded to with To the Death. To the Death also used by GY16. Okay. So it's Heaven's Grace To the Death by GY16. It's an interesting combination because the 30 marches hit by To the Death do not heal. So it's a little counter synergy, but this is more than 30 marches. There are a lot of marches in this murder ball. The sad faces are coming out from both sides. This is for the game. I think the Ark carrier will matter a ton for both of these teams. The Ark is spawning in 15 seconds. Will GY16 be able to take that first pull, or will it be 60 GT? Papa Boba has been the Ark carrier for 60 GT. He is walking to the temple. Will he be able to tap first? I think GY16 has first tap. Are they winning the murder ball? It is so close, I cannot tell. But who will get first Ark? It is GY16. But it was instantly dropped. Instantly dropped by GY16. Is this copium or is this looking red? Look at the sad faces coming out for GY16. This murder ball is looking red. International server hopes. International server fans rejoice. 60 GT have won this mid fight. Wow. Desert Storm To the Death, Heaven's Grace To the Death. On paper, Heaven's Grace is a counter synergy to the Death. That is absolutely insane. 60 GT have the Ark. GY16, their game is in this Ark carrier's hands. It's Papa Boba, the only free-to-play player in 60 GT. Running it straight to the outpost. What a match. Oh my goodness. 60 GT showing the international server, showing the Chinese server that they can still play these mid fights. They chose not to fight those first two mid fights because they wanted to get the advantage in building game. But they can still fight mid with the best of them. Ark carrier, very close, 20 seconds away from victory. Wow. What an exciting match between these two teams. The score is not going to reflect how close this match really was. If GY16 were to capture the structure, were to capture this Ark, the game would have been dead even. But with the game on the line, 60 GT having to win a mid fight, and they done it. They clutched up and were able to beat the tournament favorites GY16. A complete 180 from what happened last season in the Grand Prix for 60 GT, losing their first two games, getting knocked out, one of the first teams knocked out, to the redemption story of winning their first two against the Chinese server, one of those teams being GY16, one of the favorites of the tournament. You cannot script a better start for 60 GT than this. All credit to GY16 because this was a close match. They made it a match. They knew that they needed that last Ark to get back into the game because of the no mark play of 60 GT. And the game was in their grasp, but 60 GT just able to win that last mid fight and are now emoting in glory. They must be ecstatic after this win. Because those that know Ark, 60 GT versus GY16, most people would think that 60 GT would be the underdogs here. But GY16, with GY16 being the reigning champions, but 60 GT able to bring it back, able to do everything that they needed to do to win this game. International server, 60 GT has done you proud. They have beat the reigning champions, GY16. GG's to both teams. 60 GT has taken the victory over GY16. MVP going to Showtech. And you can see the discrepancy in terms of the occupation score with the no mark play of 60 GT. 37.1k for GY16 to 43.9k to 60 GT. So 60 GT taking that last arc, GY16 taking the first two, but the occupation score and even the provision score going to 60 GT's favor. Wow, what a match, chat. What a match. As we go back to the booth here real quick, that was one of the most craziest matches I think I've ever watched. 60 GT able to take the victory against GY16 against all odds. The betting favorite in the international server was 60 GT, but man, 60 GT came out to play. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the matches. We have 60 GT, who was able to take the victory against GY16. They are going to be playing the victors of 93T and 62M1. Wow! 62M1 taking the victory from 93T. 93T were the team that really made it far for the international server last season. This time getting sent to the lower bracket early. So it will be yet another Chinese server team that 60 GT are going to be playing against next week. Let's keep looking. 45Q versus 21YL. 45Q were able to win that. Beer versus 748W. Beer were able to take the victory against 748W. So Beer versus 45Q will be the upper bracket next week. Let's see the lower bracket. VVRS versus 261K. VVRS were able to take the victory there. We could see that 2377 were able to take the victory against another Chinese server. I think this is a Chinese server team. 08W1. DQ39 versus 955A. DQ39 were able to take the victory. And NP39 versus 489, I believe that NP49 forfeited their spot, so 489 will automatically make it to the next round. Chat, this Grand Prix is just heating up, so be sure to subscribe to this channel, the official Rise of Kingdoms channel, if you enjoyed the content, and if you enjoyed the cast. My channel is also in the description, Plauto Gaming. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.